Hello, I am Baal Kadmon, and I would like to thank you for watching or listening to this podcast. And if you're watching it, sorry, yet again, just like my previous podcast, there's no images here, but I think you're going to be very interested in this podcast because it is probably the most important podcast that I've ever produced. It is called The Masks That We Wear. We all have a face that we hide away forever, and we take them out and show ourselves when everyone has gone. Some are satin, some are steel, some are silk, and some are leather. They are faces of a stranger, but we'd love to try them on. Billy Joel, The Stranger, one of my favorite songs. Throughout human history, we have been enamored by masks. In primordial time, we have used them for ritual purposes, and then we have used them for war. We will use them, and we still use them for these purposes in some capacity. Now, instead of camouflaging ourselves from wildebeest and our enemies, we use it to hide from one another. We even use masks to hide from ourselves. Sometimes our masks become so real that we often fall into the delusion that the mask is who we really are. We look in the mirror and we say, we are so-and-so, yet we know that it is a mask. We force a kind of self-estrangement that seems quite nice and novel at first, but in time becomes a burden later on. When we can no longer endure the facade of the mask, or perhaps we outgrow it. For some, the estrangement saves them from themselves, but for some, it is simply an impediment. I don't claim to understand the entire process. I never have, but I do know it is rooted in the depth of our being. Yes, even if we are powerful in other ways, the mask is a vulnerability that we think brings upon us invincibility, but it doesn't. It is, in fact, the opposite. The mask itself is the vulnerability. It is the pinhole in the dam that eventually causes a crack so large that can take the entire structure down. Do you understand? Do you? When I started my writing in the occult, I felt for some reason that I needed to hide behind a mask, literally. A part of me was paranoid, thinking maybe someone or some group would curse me. But you know what? That's rubbish. That's bullshit. That's not the reason. I hid behind a mask, and I'm ready to get rid of it. I know some have advised me not to reveal who I am, and I know and understand why they say so. Some think perhaps I'd lose some readers because the quote-unquote mystery would be gone. But in the end, is it really about the mystery? My work stands on its own, and it is real, whether I am a nebbish New Yorker, which I am not, although I am a New Yorker, or some grand dark-haired wizard with red contact lenses. Really? No, it's not about that. Since I've created the Facebook page, you have emailed me and shared so many personal stories and experiences. With every email and every heartfelt story, I felt more and more compelled to share who I am with you. I realize that it is coming time for me to be as transparent with you as you are with me. I started a few months back, but I think it might be time to step it up a notch. It's been 2 years since I created my Facebook page, and in this time, I've actually met some of you in person, those of you who are in New York, and those of you that I have met, I developed great friendships with. I feel in order for me to accept your authentic self, I need to meet you halfway, and I'm doing so right now. Listen closely. It's just the beginning.